We are going deep on the legend of Almond Eye.
The perfect athlete.
Exactly. We want to unpack how a single bay filly managed to destroy the clock, beat the boys, conquer the world, and retire as perhaps the greatest to ever do it in Japan.
It's an incredible story.
It really is. And honestly, the story starts before she was even born, because looking at her pedigree, this was a massive genetic gamble, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a huge swing for the fences.
Yeah.
On paper, her bloodline looks like, like a mad scientist's experiment.
Right.
You have her sire, her father, Lord Kanaloa.
The Speed King. I remember watching clips of him getting ready for this. He was an absolute tank.
Total powerhouse.
Yeah.
Lord Kanaloa was a sprinter through and through. Massive shoulders, pure explosive muscle. I mean, he won 6 Grade 1 races, but they were all short distances.
Oh, 100 meters. Right.
Yeah, exactly. 1,200 meters, that sort of thing. He stands alongside legends like Sakura Bakushin-O in the pantheon of pure Japanese speed.
So you have this drag racer of a father, and then they pair him with Fuseiichi Pandora,
who is royalty in her own right. She's a Grade 1 winner herself. But the real key here is her father.
Sunday Silence.
Yes.
And even if you don't follow Japanese racing closely, you have probably heard that name. Sunday Silence is basically the foundation of the entire industry over there.
He is the Holy Grail. That line represents classic stamina, the ability to just run all day, the grit to handle 2,400 meters or even more.
Okay, so think about the mix here. You take the ultimate sprinter phenotype in Lord Kanaloa,
right,
and you mash him up with the ultimate distance lineage.
And in theory, you should get the perfect horse.
But biology usually works the other way, right? You get a horse with the heavy muscles of a sprinter, but the slow metabolism of a stayer.
Exactly. You get a horse with no speed and no stamina.
The worst of both worlds.
Oh, yeah. That is the risk. It's a genetic lottery. Most of the time, those conflicting traits just cancel each other out. But with Almond Eye, the coin landed perfectly on the edge.
She got the best of both.
She did. She inherited Kanaloa's explosive kick, that ability to shift gears instantly. But she had the Sunday Silence lungs to actually sustain it over classic distances.
Which is just, it's unreal. So she was born in 2015, and I guess the name Almond Eye was a bit of a prophecy regarding her looks.
Yeah, it's derived from the English term describing a beautiful, almond-shaped eye. And aesthetically, she really was stunning. She had this highly intelligent, calm look about her.
But pretty doesn't win races.
No, it definitely doesn't.
But apparently having a jet engine for a heart does. So let's fast forward a bit to 2018, her 3-year-old season. This is where the legend really starts to take shape, right?
Yes.
Because she teams up with the jockey, Christophe Lemaire.
And that partnership is absolutely crucial. Lemaire is a master tactician.
Yeah.
And he realized very quickly that he was essentially sitting on a Ferrari.
He didn't need to force it.
Right. He didn't need to overcoach her at all. He just needed to find the gap in the field and let her go.
So they go for the Triple Crown. And just to clarify for you listening, if you are used to the American system, this is the Japanese fillies Triple Crown.
Correct. It is a series of 3 specific races restricted to 3-year-old fillies. You have the Oka Show, which is the Japanese 1,000 guineas.
Yeah.
Then the Yushun Himba, the Oaks, and finally the Shuka Show. Winning even one of these is a career maker.
But winning all 3 is historic.
Beyond historic. Before 2018, only 4 mares had ever done it in the entire history of Japanese racing.
Wow, only 4.
It's incredibly difficult because the distances change, the tracks change, and keeping a young horse at peak fitness for that long is a trainer's nightmare.
But Almond Eye made it look like a training run. She just swept them.
Swept them.
Yeah.
And she didn't just win, she dominated. She showed she could win from the back of the pack. She could win from midfield. She was playing a completely different game than the other 3-year-olds.
Okay, but this is where the story shifts from a great filly to an absolute freak of nature.
Oh, defo.
Because usually, after a Triple Crown win, you wrap the horse in bubble wrap. You manage their career so carefully. Maybe you run her in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup against other female.
That is the conventional wisdom. You protect the asset. You don't throw a 3-year-old girl into the ring with the heavyweights immediately.
But her team didn't care about conventional wisdom at all. They looked at the calendar and said, let's go to the Japan Cup.
Which is jumping straight into the deep end of the pool. The Japan Cup is open company.
Meaning anyone can enter.
Right. Older males, seasoned champions, international invaders. It is a brutal, brutal test.
And this is the moment I really want to focus on for a second. Tokyo Racecourse, November 2018, 2,400 meters. The result wasn't just win. It was a statistical anomaly.
It is the number that still keeps racing analysts up at night. 2 minutes, 20.6 seconds.
I have to say it again so it sinks in.
Yeah.
20.6.
To put that in perspective for you, that wasn't just a course record. That was a world record for 2,400 meters on turf.
Okay, break that down for me, because to a layman, fast is just fast. Why is 220.6 so mind-blowing in this context?
Think of it this way. A standard, really good time for that distance is maybe 2:23 or 2:24.
Okay.
To shave 3 or 4 full seconds off a world record in a sport that literally measures victories by inches, it's absurd.
It's a lifetime in horse racing.
Exactly. She ran the first part of the race at a decent clip, and then she essentially sprinted the final stretch like she was running a 100-meter dash, except she'd already run a mile and a half.
And that goes right back to that sprinter versus stayer contradiction we talked about at the beginning. She ran a distance race at a sprinting pace.
And she did it against Kiseki. Kiseki was a phenomenal horse who ran the race of his life that day. He set a blistering pace, thinking he could burn everyone else out.
Just exhaust the field.
Right. Any other year, Kiseki wins that race by 5 lengths. Instead, Almond Eye tracked him down and just blew past him.
Wow.
That performance was the paradigm shift. That is when the world collectively said, okay, she isn't just a Japanese champion, she's a global superstar.
Which she proved the very next year. 2019, she goes to Dubai.
The Dubai turf. And you have to understand, traveling is hard on horses. It is not like us hopping on a commercial flight.
All right, they can't just watch a movie and relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The stress, the climate change, the new feed, the unfamiliar water, it ruins a lot of really great horses.
She handled it like a veteran, though. She won easily.
Made it look routine. But then she comes back home to Japan and targets the Tenno Show Autumn. And I love this part of her career because it really highlights her versatility.
Right, because the Japan Cup is 2,400 meters, the Tenno Show is 2,000, and later on she wins the Victoria Mile, which is, well, 1,600 meters.
And that is the perfect athlete thing again. To win a grade 1 at a mile requires raw, explosive speed. You have to be incredibly sharp. But to win at 2,400 requires deep stamina and patience.
And she was winning at both absolute ends of the spectrum.
Seamlessly. She even defended her Tennoshu title in 2020, becoming the very first mare ever to go back-to-back in that race.
It feels like she was just ticking boxes at this point. Fastest time ever. Check. Beat the boys. Check. Win overseas. Check.
She had done it all.
But every great movie needs a climax. And in 2020, the scriptwriters for reality really outdid themselves.
You truly couldn't have staged it better. The 2020 Japan Cup, this was announced as her final race before retiring.
And the context here is heavy. Almond Eye is arguably past her absolute physical peak. She's a 5-year-old now. She's the reigning queen, but there are wolves at the door.
Specifically, 2 young, very hungry wolves, Contrail and Daring Tact.
And these weren't just random challengers who happened to have a good season, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. Contrail was the undefeated Triple Crown winner for the Colts that year.
Okay.
And Daring Tact was the undefeated Triple Crown winner for the fillies that year.
So you have 3 Triple Crown winners loading into the starting gate. That had never happened before in the history of Japanese racing.
Never. It was billed everywhere as the showdown of the century. The narrative was just set perfectly. Is the queen ready to step down?
Yeah.
Is the new generation ready to take the throne?
Or does the old legend have one more miracle left in the tank?
Exactly. The tension must have been absolutely suffocating at Tokyo Racecourse.
I can only imagine.
It was electric. You had the 3 most popular horses in the country, and the race itself, it played out like a storybook.
How so?
Well, as they hit the final stretch, Kiseki, bless him, was way out in front again, trying to steal the race wire to wire.
Just like in 2018.
Right. But then the pack started to close in. You had the young guns, Contrail and Daring Tact, making their moves on the outside, looking incredibly dangerous.
But then you look for the white cap of Christophe Lemaire.
And there she was. The sources describe her moving with calm authority. And that is such a perfect description.
I love that phrase, calm authority.
She wasn't scrambling. She didn't look desperate at all. She just surged.
She found another gear when it mattered most.
She held them off. She crossed the line first. But look at the podium for that race. First place, Almond Eye. Second, Contrail. Third, Daring Tact.
The 3 Triple Crown winners went 1, 2, 3.
It was incredibly poetic. She beat them, but they were right there with her. It was interpreted by everyone as this beautiful passing of the torch.
Acknowledging the next generation.
Yes, she proved she was still the supreme athlete, but she acknowledged that the future of Japanese racing was in good hands, standing right next to her on the podium.
I genuinely get chills just thinking about that finish. It is so rare that a dream match actually lives up to the hype, but that one completely did.
It exceeded it, frankly, and it secured her legacy forever. She retired with 9 international Grade 1 victories, which broke the long-standing record held by Simbali Rudolph, who is basically considered a god in Japanese racing.
She didn't just set the bar, she put it on a completely different shelf.
Exactly.
And now she is at Northern Farm, living the good life as a broodmare. But her legacy got cemented officially in 2023 with her Hall of Fame induction.
Yes, and there's a really cool detail about that induction that brings us right back to the start of our deep dive. She went in alongside her father, Lord Kanaloa.
A family affair.
It gets even better. The very next year, her paternal grandfather, King Kamehameha, was inducted.
No way.
Yes, it is the first 3-generation Hall of Fame lineage in JRA history. It really emphasizes that she wasn't an accident.
She was the culmination of all of it.
The culmination of generations of selective breeding and absolute greatness.
It really brings it full circle. We started the show talking about how impossible her genetics seemed, that massive clash of speed versus stamina. But looking back at that lineage, maybe she was just inevitable.
She blurred the lines. She made the impossible look routine. And I think that is why she matters so much. She forced us to completely recalibrate what we think a horse is capable of doing.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.